Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan. My channel is Endless Journey. Today we have Joel Woodhouse. Hi, Joel.
Hello.
Love your style and stash and your do and everything. I haven't seen you for a while.
Thank, thank you. Yeah, totally. I've been
Hmm,
trimming it up to get the flair.
that's badass. What's your business called again? You like called it Tesla Talks or something like this? You still doing that or?
It's new. It's new and improved now. It's knowing guidance.
Pardon me?
It's knowing guidance.
Knowing guidance. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. I have to stay organized in what we talk about here. But to start,
Okay.
how are you, man? Where are you calling from? You look like you're in the wilderness there.
Yeah. I'm good. I've been really good. I'm out on Salt Spring Island.
Nice.
Yeah, on a little piece of property with my partner's friend and a few other people.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a great place.
totally. Yeah. How,
Cool.
how have you been?
The trees look like Photoshop, Adobe. No, don't fix anything. I like it. Keep it the same. I've been great, man. Well, pretty good. It's COVID. Everything's just changing. And like my COVID experience changes from week to week and day to day. But as of today, I got a little bit of a late start and I have a lot of things to do. So I just really wanted to make sure I could do a good focus on this because I genuinely am looking forward to this. I love doing these interviews. I'm just getting going on them. And you're definitely on the top of my list. Um,
Awesome. Thank you.
what else was I going to say? I'll ask one more general question and then we'll start moving towards the real content that people probably clicked on this about. How's
Sure.
your COVID experience, Joel?
It's been interesting and overall, I feel like I've been really um, kind of yeah, just really blessed for how everything has moved forward. Was in Machosen, doing the house sitting. I think you remember that, and then from there we came right to Salt Spring and had a nice. We've had a little community of people, and we've been kind of removed out in the. We're a little further out in the woods here, so it's been a pretty smooth sailing with yeah, not too much interaction with the cities or the bigger city centers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just for the record, Joel, you're from Calgary, right?
yeah. Originally born and
Okay.
raised. Yep.
So Joel and his partner are cruising around doing the West Coast experience,
Hmm.
just seeking out opportunities and just learning this thing we're going to talk about today, family constellation as he goes. And this is how I met him. Uh, so so today, yeah, we're going to talk mostly about this man, Mark Woolen, that wrote this book, It Didn't Start With You, and Family Constellation.
Hmm.
So there's probably people going to click that have no idea what we're talking about. So we have to speak in that way.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a rant, and then you're going to do the majority of the rant, and hopefully it will be balanced over on your side more. People know I'm
Perfect.
a talker. So, all right. Anything else you want to say before I start a rant here?
No, rant on.
Okay, I'm going to say how I met you.
Okay.
So I'm living in this household. We have some like personal development, spiritual people come and go here. And one of them was my good friend. I felt she knew me fairly well. And at some point, she said, you have this thing you could really stand to work on. And it's regarding dating and relationships and whatever. And anyways, later there was this thing coming up called family constellation. And I know that I liked a lot of the things that she liked, and I respected her opinion. She's like, you should go to this. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like, what is this? She's like, well, and she tried to explain it, and I really still didn't really understand what it was. And like, I had the idea intellectually, but um, it's still very mysterious to me. So anyways, I bought this ticket and to go to this event. And then it was over in this really nice hotel on the water on the other side of Victoria. And actually, it turned out to be quite a big deal that Victoria had this man because it was his last, apparently his last visit on tour, and he's from like California, I believe, and he normally would do a much larger city. So, anyways, I go there. The hotel was nice, and there must have been at least 100 people in that room, and I was really like surprised. And so we changed seats, but at one point for the lunch break, I sat down beside you and introduced myself, and we started talking. And then I asked you what you were all about, and you said you were learning this family constellation thing. And then later, we did some sessions. So I did the group event, which was pretty impactful. I had some pretty stark realizations of who I am and what I do and why I do those strange, ridiculous things, which I want to change. And then here we are now doing a video. Is that true, Joel?
Yes, that's true.
Okay,
It's awesome.
so let's take it from the top. Mark Willen is this kind of like guy that's notorious in the family constellation scene. I don't know if we have to speak specifically about him or just family constellation in general. So start wherever you want, take as long as you want. Joel Woodhouse, what is family constellations? Or constellation?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Constellation, family constellations, family systems work. It all blends together. But yeah, I guess one area to start is talking about, I guess, what a constellation is, and maybe where it got its name, and why it's called that. So it's called a constellation for the reasons the same as like in the stars. There's constellations, because what the process does is you lay out the map of your family system and where you sit in that family system. And then so like a constellation, you see the whole picture.
Yeah.
It reveals the hidden dynamics in your family, that allow you to see where you sit.
And I'd just like to help you at that point. This actually shows in the live events. There's a big circle of people, and then people volunteer or are selected to play out the different characters in your family constellation. And then those people stand or move around you in the same, it's a reflection. What they're doing physically is a reflection of your relationship with them. So if you were close with your mother, the person playing your mother would be standing quite close to you. Whereas if your father was distant, he would be literally standing way on the other side of the circle. And the characters move. The people playing the characters of your life.
Yes.
Boy, there's a lot to explain here off the top.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And yeah, like you said, it can be done as we saw with Mark, like with a group of people, and then you bring in people to be representatives of the different aspects of your life, whether it be family members or somebody who played a significant role in your life at that time. And then it can also be done with figurines in like a one-on-one setting. And you can use, like you saw what I use a bunch of kids toys. They've done it with rocks. You can do it with anything really, because what happens is, one of the large aspects of constellation work is, and how a lot of these dynamics are revealed is through the morphogenic field is what it's called, or referred to as the field. And this is what kind of makes constellation work maybe alternative or not recognized by like a lot of established medical
mainstream thinking. We're North American. We're super into science, like obsessed. And I mean, obviously, people who would watch my videos know I'm very open, if not highly intrigued in this stuff. So today you're using the word uh, morphogenic.
Hmm.
I mean, there's just different words for things, but if you wanted to really make it a simplified, accessible phrase, I mean, you can make it sort of sound as simple as you're accessing your subconscious mind. You're definitely accessing some part of you that you're really not typically conscious of, and whether that's in you or information stored in the ether, I'm not sure where that is,
Hmm. Hmm.
but that's what you're describing is you're going and tapping into some sort of record of events that happen either to you or to your parents or your family line. And yeah, so I suppose now we should talk about, so we're talking about the how and the approach, but it's what about the what? Like what are we going in altering here? What are we going in what is it that we're approaching here and playing with?
Yeah, totally. People will bring, if there's something that is been a theme in their life that has been troubling them, that's generally what people will bring to a constellation session. So it can be maybe something about anxieties, or maybe something like they can't maintain a relationship, or maybe there's a just an impending doom that they always feel, and they don't know where this feeling has come from.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, you can really do a constellation for any topic, but like somebody might come and say that they want to, like, they have a lot of trouble talking in social gatherings,
Right.
and so you can bring something like they want to find their voice. And so with a constellation, you would, with detective work, kind of unearth why they have this blockage, what has been interfering with their voice. Yeah.
I remember at the event there was, well, there was like at least 100 people, and everybody said their
Yeah.
piece. And I can't remember everybody, but for me, I'm not saying it was the majority of this, but I certainly noticed the majority of this was relationships,
Hmm.
love relationships,
Hmm.
romantic relationships, whatever, marriages, what have you.
Yeah.
I always say really like personal stuff on the internet. I don't really care. I was there. I was there myself specifically for some form of a block in dating, and just felt like I just something is just not flowing, and I just should be just expand. I just should be able to be having more full-on experiences, and I'm just was there. I'm like, what is, like, is there something here that these people can reveal for me that I could just, you know, change and be open to some new experiences beyond this tiny little, you know, circle I've been traveling around in here. So
Mhm. Yeah. And yeah, that's a good point, talking about yeah, your personal experience, because that's what I had brought forward, was that I was experiencing like creative blocks in my life, or just interruptions in just like, going and achieving the things that I wanted in life, and there was something very difficult
like a
for
self
me to move
confidence
through.
thing,
Like sorry, can you repeat that?
like a self confidence in the respect of pursuing your passion and that.
Yeah, that's one part of it for sure, and there were just other things, like things would just stop me from pursuing things, and they would come up in all kinds of ways, and maybe just like a like a very heavy weight that would take about a week to move through, and then I would
Yeah.
lose all kinds of momentum a project that I was working on, and then I would essentially be back at square one.
Yeah.
And for me, this was a lot rooted with the situation, the relationship between me and my father and my mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is not uncommon.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Very, very. That's a common relationship. The son and the mother, what have you.
Yeah.
You know, nobody is. Just to be clear, nobody's a terrible person or anything for this. Like, if you just had no sort of trauma baggage or any glitches whatsoever, I mean, you would be a rare person to be making it through the world unscathed. Like, you would have to have lived in the mountains of the Himalayas, you know. But anyway, so it's a completely human, normal experience. So
Yes. Yeah.
So I have two things that I want to say here that are logical. I'm not sure what order to put them. I'll tell you what, I'll let you choose.
Okay.
The one thing was like, so how did you personally get drawn onto this path? What was your draw? I don't know how you heard of this. It's a bit of an obscure kind of interest. And then I just thought also it would be wise to explain that, just to be crystal clear, that these blocks that we're having, they're more than psychological, they're more than intellectual, they're more than just what you can understand with your rational mind. And this goes back to what Mark Woolen's book, It Didn't Start With You, means. We've really got to explain that inherited trauma concept, how even throughout lifetimes, you have these, I don't know, you know what it was for me, that what somebody sent me a message on Instagram, and I didn't know this guy, and he had a phrase. He's like, what was it? Inherited his, like, a family. It was like not a spell or a what do you call that when like a witch or wizard puts a
Like a curse.
Family generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the heck is that? And it's like a very basic example is in the way that, like, a Black American, you know, the natives in Canada had a really terrible history. Even, you know, I could say like Irish or Scottish history.
Yeah.
They get like poverty consciousness, and they like believe in, like, they put value in things like, they just identify as being poor, being heavy drinkers, being fighters, you know, hard work. And they're just born into this identity, what is so familiar to them that they're not even aware of it. Like, it's so them that they can't even see themselves for that it is. Okay, sorry, I just unloaded like this ginormous question, but just tell me how you got into it, and then we'll revisit that last bit there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Anywhere you like. Anywhere you like, Joel.
Sure. Yeah. Well, if I may, I'll just touch on what you were saying. Yeah, it's really, it's so incredibly fascinating, and it's tied into the first question, why I've gone down this road as well, because the more that I've learned about the root causes in people's lives, and the way to resolve them with constellation work, has just like blown my mind. It's been like the most like psychedelic, watching the most psychedelic movie you can, because it gets so crazy, because like there's like the things that you were talking about, like curses, like people experience this, and a lot of times what this can be, it's called a soul entanglement. And it's when there's, for some reason, there was something that somebody in your family line, it happened significantly in their life, and they took it to the grave with them. It was never resolved. And and for the want as like humans to be able to like clear our slates and heal ourselves and move forward in the journey of life, if there's a sore spot somewhere in that line, in your genetics, it's going to do whatever it can to come up. And on a subconscious level, on a soul level, somebody in the family line puts up their hands and says, I can take that burden on. I like great grandma, like give it to me, like let me represent this in my life so that we can resolve it. And a soul entanglement is one aspect of what a constellation can resolve, because it's the spirit of your ancestor who is so enmeshed in your life that it's pulling you off your ability to live an authentic life, because they're like boom boom boom, like we need this resolved, like hear me. And so, and then it can be quite just simply resolved. It's not like some crazy thing or some wild, like impossible task to resolve this. It
Right.
comes down to acknowledging it.
Many people could just decide to just not deal with it, maybe on some level, sense it's there, but just stay absorbed in the busyness of life and just never go there. I would think there are people more curious than others that are kind of into some alternative healing, some metaphysical stuff, and they will be the one to speak up. But as well, I think there'll be people who it just becomes so urgent that they must reach out and search for different help.
Totally.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, kind of the example that I've used is like it's like if you're cutting onions or something on a chopping board, and you're trying to I almost fell over. You're trying to chop like this over here, like with your arms stretched out to the side, and you can do it, of course, but it's just going to be difficult, and you're not going to be able to do it as well. And so a constellation can clear some of that, like that confusion, and put you back into your where you fit in your family system.
Yeah.
And then you can continue to chop, and it's just much easier.
Yeah.
Okay,
so like I want to say it definitely does. I mean, you can read books about things and sort of go for a walk and ponder things, which I do also. Or like when you go to these events, so Mark Woolen, he's like a master at this. I don't know who else is in the scene. And there's 100 people, and he's going around and he's trying to give feedback to these people, moving. And I mean, he's got to stay organized and have a lot of energy. I must have been number 75. Boy, did he sort me out quick, like lightning speed. Just like, it was like the Burger King drive-through of like high-level psychology. He was just like, you said that. Oh, your hands are doing that. Oh, I can see you feel like that. And he just had such a background that he really sussed me out real quick. What my things are, and things I was saying, corrected me on something I said. And yeah, that was just based off that simple exercise where people come in your physical proximity and you imagine them to be, in this case it was the mother, and then you just see how you feel, and then you write it down, and you're like, well, why do I feel like that? And then you answer some questions, and then it's critiqued from there. But okay, so when you're saying that we inherit these traumas, these challenges, and it's this kind of intelligent energy that we don't necessarily have a really wide sweeping name for. There's a bit of mystery there. So is it it's specific to like our families, like our parents. So it's literally passed down through osmosis. So if my grandparents had a challenge in life that was unresolved, and that affected their behavior, their worldview, what they thought, and therefore what they taught to their kids, and then one of their children became my parent, and this could go back multiple generations, then I subconsciously take on all that belief system, that problem, what it is, whatever it is. And as a child, we're not intelligent enough to be able to say what we want to allow somebody to get in their head. So it's specifically from our physical families. Is it from other sources? I mean, I'm open to talking about some really alternative spiritual stuff, but I always try to like kind of boil it down
Hmm.
for people.
Yeah.
Is it from? Is it go out in your own past lives, or just like your whole race or your whole geographic area? Like, where does that draw upon? What all sources do the directions we receive these inherited traumas come from?
Yeah, definitely. And that's a good question about past lives and how much influence is in that. That I really don't know too much about yet. I still need some experience to be able to observe that. But generally, it's limited to anybody that you share blood with. So even if there's just a speck of blood, shared genetics, they're in your family system, and you are receptive to their line. The exception to that is if there's somebody who played a significant role in your family. So they either saved somebody's life in your family, or they took somebody's life in your family, or like they stole a large amount of money or something from the family. That will bring in somebody who isn't blood related into the picture. If they whatever disrupting event that was that they played in,
Mm-hmm.
that they'll fit in with that. Yeah.
Okay. So there's intelligence literally passed on in our DNA, in our genetics, in our physical body.
Yeah, epigenetics, yes,
Epigenetics. Okay,
is
I
the
don't know a
science.
lot
Yeah.
about that, but now my mind goes to, like, I just heard about this. I mean, I know his name, it doesn't matter, but he's this black weightlifter. He's ginormous, and he had to get a heart transplant. And I mean, it's so controversial. The other guys are like harassing him, but he believes he got an Asian woman's heart. And I've heard this before. My friend got a blood transfusion from a black guy in Detroit, and he said after, it was a joke. It's a joke, but he's like, "Man, I love Motown now." Whatever. But anyways, the idea is that there is information stored in our physical matter that comes down literally through our parents.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm open to that. I'm really open to that. I really am. So okay, so like we're about a half an hour now. These videos are really nice for 45 minutes.
Okay.
So how does a person decide, like at what point, who's like, how does a person arrive at the conclusion that they would like to, maybe they would benefit from family constellation, and like where do they begin, and where do they go, and what do they do? Like, if somebody's watching this video, they're thinking, I'm kind of interested in this. It's a little bit weird for me, but I have some stuff I'd like to work on. Who are these people, and how do they sort of start getting going on this?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, an easy way is if you're watching this video right now, and what we're talking about is really hitting with you, really resonating with you, that
Okay.
there's probably something of value that a constellation could give you. And on the
Okay.
other side of that is, oh,
Joel, you were just
yeah,
breaking up there. I don't know if that's in the video, so I'm just going to
oh,
reiterate that. So Joel said, if you find that you're here watching this video and you're still watching at this point, that is probably a pretty solid clue that you could look a little further. Okay, go on.
yes, and yes, thank you. And the other side of it is that we're coming from generations and generations of um, breaking down family systems that are being interrupted at the fundamental level of connections between mother and children, father and children, and there's we it's very evident in our global situations, the riots, the way that people react to certain things like COVID and stuff. There's and yeah, there's just we've been, as humans, especially recently, it feels like, been really trying to iron out things, or like issues have really been coming up. What I'm trying to say is that probably most of us could benefit from this work. And I'm not like saying, I don't want to put words in people's mouths and tell them that they need this work,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact is, like, we have some reckoning to do. We need to turn into ourselves and learn a bit more about what's going on the inside of ourselves. And it's apparent in a lot of the world conditions that we have: the failing education systems, the struggling health systems, the like large amounts of environmental destruction. These are all external views that there's stuff going on inside of us deeply. And if you have never done any family system work, if you've never like analyzed your relationship with your mother or your father, or looked into your family dynamics, there's a good chance that there's something in there that is probably something you could do without. It's something that you learn to operate as a child, and now that you're an adult, it no longer serves you. And there's a really good chance that that most people have something that they could just clear off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing all that, Joel. I'm hearing all that. It's true. It's true. Who's gonna make it through a whole lifetime without doing some interpersonal work? But I want to say something. You know what? I was just, I try to just purely listen, but I also think as I listen. I want to say something very positive too, though. As far as like doing this personal development, I don't know. I guess it could be called spiritual development. I don't know what's the title of what you call this, but something incredibly positive. Listen, we come to Earth. We maybe make some children. We have a responsibility to take care of them, provide a nice home for them. I don't know, maybe we'll have studied science and we added some great invention, discovery that will affect history forevermore. Maybe whatever you did, but you know what? We have, like, as a human species, we're perpetually evolving and advancing, and we've just decade after decade, we've become more intelligent, and we just build on the lessons of all our history. And so by doing this kind of work now in your little world, if you can resolve some things that's been troubling you and you can improve your own life, your friends, your family, your lover, even your dog, I don't know, everybody on some strange level is going to pick up on that. And that's just going to pull up everybody's feeling, everybody's game. And then somebody else comes across it. We make a video that spreads, and everything you can do, I can do, we can do for the kind of just the overall wellness of mankind counts, and I think it's hard to measure, but I just really think it's worth doing. And that the whole family constellation thing, today we've been speaking in the context that we're having traumas and things happen, and things do happen. There are accidents, there are misunderstandings, but on the other side, we can do something really great. My grandfather could have been a famous musician, and that would trickle down and give me so much confidence that I could be a great musician and that I should have an abundant life. Or maybe I'll take that confidence and put it into art. Or maybe I believe I'm good. I'm supposed to have the a most amazing romantic relationship in the world or something. So it's just a turning point, and it can be whatever we make it. So why not make it awesome?
Yeah. And that's a great way that you put it. Like, like, yeah, we're here on Earth, and like it's the everybody benefits when you look into yourself and see how you're acting. And family system work and constellation work is just one of the ways to do it. And you've seen the greatness of it. I've seen the greatness of it, and that's why we're here chatting about it. There's a
Yeah.
million ways to skin a cat, but this is what we know, and this is,
Yeah.
yeah, what we're
And
sharing.
this is a very good, interesting way, in my opinion. And we didn't even remotely explain how it worked. Like, it's, you really have to just, it's like the Matrix. You have to see it to know it. You know, you've
Yeah,
got to go there, do the event, or do a personal experience. So we'll put your contacts in here.
thank you.
Um, but you know, like, let's we can do another one anytime, Joel. We'll come up with some other more specific things to speak of or whatever.
Sure.
But let's just maybe say now, you know, where are you going with your, I know you're doing your West Coast adventure as you
Hmm.
go,
Yeah,
but where are you, what's your experience with this now? Where is your path heading with the family constellation as far as yourself and helping others?
yeah. Well, I am uh, refining and diving deeper into the constellation work, and I'm currently in a certification program.
Okay.
So I'm in constellation therapy school right now,
Yeah.
and yeah, just further deepening what I know. And I'm basically just building a foundation under myself so that I can be as equipped as I can to be able to launch myself into a public view, to be able
And you will go on
to
to host events.
yeah, host events. I'm guessing in the more immediate time, it'll just be more the one-on-one sessions
Yeah,
using
I understand.
figurines. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, I'm on the upward and onward journey of
Yeah.
constellation work. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you seem very passionate about it, very inquisitive. And when I first met you and I asked you like what you were all about, I was surprised. It's like, oh, really? Because you said that quite quickly. So that's cool. I like that. I mean, everybody's got to share something. I can't be the one to be an expert on every subject. So I just go around and make these videos and steal everybody else's hard work.
I hear you. Sounds like you've taken your place in the family system, in
Yeah.
their family system.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Oh, just that you can't know everything and help everyone, and that's a good sign that you have taken your role in your family system, and you
Yeah.
know that there's only so much you can do, but it can be a lot
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, I'm totally into doing anything I can to like help my family, influence my family. And then I just meant also, Joel, that like my approach to self-development is just, it's multifaceted in the way that I will do family constellation. I just trust how things unfold, you know. If I just get a clue to go and it's time to do a 10-day meditation, I'll go over there. Sometimes I'll just go into a fitness regime for a couple months. You know,
Mm.
I had like a past lives sort of thing going there,
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm open to who crosses my path, and I just follow it until it feels like I've learned what I've learned, and maybe I revisit it, or maybe I'm sent off to the next person. I don't know, but
Yeah.
okay. Do you want to bring it home here, wrap it up?
Yeah, well, I would just like to say thanks so much for giving this invitation to do this interview. I really appreciate it, and it's a lot of fun. And I hope we can find another spicy topic to get into, and maybe do
Yeah.
another one.
Oh, we can if you want. I'm just getting going on these interviews. I just make them. I was doing just me ranting by myself, but feels like there's something here. I really like it. The other person likes it. And it's just a way to give a person exposure. Um, and I'm going to be seeking out many unique individuals. So it's no trouble for me. I like speaking to you, Joel. And I just like you as a person anyway. So Okay.
That's right.
So we'll see you
Yeah.
again, and just repeat all your contacts there, and I'll maybe type it out on the screen, but just one last time, all your specifics.
Okay. Yeah, my email is joel.woohouse@gmail.com.
Okay.
And that's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And yeah, work can be done like via Zoom or something, so it's not limited to in-person work. So you can work with people anywhere essentially. And yeah, my phone number or my email is probably the best way to get a hold of me right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's plenty. If somebody can't get through to you like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to keep the video flowing to the last second. So I'm gonna say goodbye, Joel. It was good to see you. I still love your new style there, and the backdrop was great with those trees there today. So yeah, let's do another one. Why don't you ponder some topics, some more specific kind of surrounding topics. So yeah, it's a sunny day on the West Coast. I have lots more to do, and I think you do too.
Heck yeah. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Okay, this is Ryan. My channel's Endless Journey. Peace and love. Bye, everybody. See you, Joel.
See ya. Peace. Peace and
Adios,
love.
amigo.
Adios.